What's going on, everyone? I'm Travis Brown with the Eagle. We're here in the Eagle newsroom, and by the miracle of technology, we have Susan Miller Degnan of the Miami Herald here with us to break down a little bit of Texas A&M and Miami and give everyone a little bit of look at what's going on with the Hurricanes this season. Susan, how are you?
I'm great. It's very rainy outside here. How's it there?
You know, it was hot all summer, and we got a little bit of rain, and now I think maybe fall is on its way. Maybe. We'll see.
Really? Well, if it's cooler than 95 degrees, the Canes will be very happy.
Yeah, I think it just might be. We're going to be pretty close, right on that 90 border. But anyway, let's get right into this game. What are some of the key major storylines surrounding this Miami Hurricane team 2 games into the season and heading into College Station this weekend?
Well, I think other than, that it's the first signature game in Mario Cristobal, in the Mario Cristobal era, I thought about 3 things. One is how UM's O-line will hold up to the Texas A&M D-line. UM's quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, who was the ACC Rookie of the Year last year, and he really is very good. He was sacked 4 times last week against Southern Miss, right? Not exactly a powerhouse. And there was some miscommunication, but he needs to have a better start this week. He was a little inaccurate. He's still throwing for like 73% accuracy. He's very good. But the O-line thing is going to be really important. They have their left tackle, who is supposedly a first-round NFL prospect, was out. He came back for, I think, a few 20, maybe he played 20 snaps last week, but he had arthroscopic knee surgery. So he's back supposedly full force, but is he going to play left side as usual, or are they going to move the left guy to the right side? I mean, I think the offensive line is going to be one of the keys. The other thing is, can UM control the play clock? I know App State did that, and it really hurt Texas A&M, and the coaches have talked about that this week repeatedly. So I think that's really important to them. And I think really one of the most important things is the hostile crowd and Kyle Field, because especially for the young kids, they've never had anything like this, and this is their first road game. And I've been to Kyle Field, and what a first road game this will be.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just wondering, because anytime a new coach, you wonder about the transition, because Cristobal has obviously got the reputation, stickler for getting things done. I was interested listening to his press conference. He sounds a lot about like Jimbo, and you talk about execution. So just where do you feel this team is making the transition? You talked about a lot of young players. Have you seen a lot of progress in, quote, the Cristobal way as opposed to the previous regime?
Right. Well, he wants discipline in every way. Okay. He keeps saying how you do anything is how you do everything. And he means it. I mean, he's a guy who's a workaholic, and he truly is. I mean, I've never seen someone so hyper and energized as he is. He's in there at like 4 a.m. 4:30 a.m. In the facility, and he expects a lot out of the players. And I think they really needed that discipline, and they've seemed to be buying in, as they say. He doesn't take crap, as they say. If somebody, even a star, steps out of line, they're going to get whatever he does. They're going to get punished, or he won't play him, or he's just not putting up with anything. And but he loves the kids. It's total family to him. And he played for UM under Jimmy Johnson for 1 season, and Dennis Erickson for the rest. He won 2 titles at UM and played for another one and lost to Alabama. I mean, they're doing it. He's doing it the old school Miami way, kind of tough. One of the things he keeps saying is Miami is the U is not back. The U is back to work. That pretty much encapsulates him.
What about, you mentioned about Miami? You think about Miami, you think about big plays. And of course, Van Dyke, have read up with him. Obviously, he did have a good year, finished the season strong. Listen to him. He didn't like how he played in the Southern Miss game. So where is his receivers? I notice a lot of young receivers, and I know they're supposed to get one guy back. So how do you think the passing game is going to do in a hostile environment, first road game?
Wow. We're still waiting for the receivers to really. I mean, I know they have talent. They do. They're all the 4-star guys, and the highly touted recruits. But really, I'm not so sure on the answer to that. I'm not so sure how they're going to do. Period in that environment. I'm not convinced. They have one slot receiver, third-year player named Xavier Restrepo, who's not a real big guy. He's very strong and compact, but he's incredible. He's very intense. He's Tyler Van Dyke's roommate. They're very close, and he's good. But the other guys, no matter how talented we know they are and how high they jump and, some outrageous catches they make with one hand, but they had a lot of drops in fall camp. They got stronger at the end of fall camp. And we're still waiting to see. Like there's a sophomore named Jacoby George, who last year, honestly, again, another talent. He jumps sky high. He catches, one-handed catches, except last year he had 172 yards, I think, on, I don't know how many catches, 7 catches or whatever. 7 passes, 183 yards and a touchdown. So he's really relatively untested. And again, Mario, he was suspended the first 2 games. Okay. So Mario, I'm not sure how much he's going to play him. That'll be really interesting to see how much he plays him.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think I said, I think UM might try to control the clock and run the ball. Even if they get 3 yards, 4 yards, that'll take time away from Texas A&M.
You mentioned about the left tackle. Isn't the line one of their strengths that they feel where they have they like that position? Okay. Yes,
actually it is. It's funny because they were horrible a few years ago. But this kid, well, he played when he was a true freshman, and he was skinny. He's 6'5", but he was really skinny. Now he's like 315 pounds. Zion Nelson. The 4 sacks were unusual. They really are into opening holes for some runners, which we can talk about in a bit. The O-line has pretty good experience. So again, the noise factor, I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so we talked about Van Dyke. We talked a little bit about the wide receivers and the offensive line. What are some other of the key players that maybe the casual college football fan, casual A&M fan needs to know on this Miami team coming in this weekend?
Well, UM has a running back who was a transfer from Ole Miss. He's from South Florida. He went to Columbus High, the same high school Mario Cristobal went to. His name is Henry Parrish. He's a 3rd-year sophomore out of, like I said, out of Miami Columbus High. And he leads UM now. He's had over 100 yards in each of the 2 games. And he's, he has almost a 6-yard average. He also leads the team with 4 touchdowns. So he's someone that's going to touch the ball a lot. Also on defense, they have an exceptional safety named James Williams. He's he's 6'5", I don't know, 225 pounds or whatever. He's very tall. He stands out when you see him on the field, and he's really good. He was a 5-star recruit in high school. And the other starting safety, Cam Kinchins, who's also a sophomore, is really good also. He's really, really good. And then the other strength, I would say, is the defensive line. UM has 5 transfers this year that are rotating. Like last year, they were they didn't have a lot, so they didn't have a lot of guys to rotate. This year, they've got a guy named he's a defensive end who sometimes goes inside on third downs. His name is Akeem Mesidor. He's out of West Virginia. Very, very good. But he didn't play last game. I think it was something with his foot. They didn't say that, but we saw some kind of boot on his foot. And Mario today said that he would be back. He was fine. They also have a guy from UCLA named defensive end Mitchell Agude, who's very, very good. And a tackle, Jacob Lichtenstein out of USC, Liechtenstein, excuse me, out of USC.
So to wrap things up, what does this game mean for Miami? I know you talked a little bit about the crowd. I know kind of first test. What does this game mean for Miami if they win and if A&M somehow manages to do what we would think now would be the upset?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's an upset, by the way. If A&M wins, I'm not sure about that. But first of all, it would be Mario Cristobal's first signature win in the Mario Cristobal era. And believe me, Miami hasn't had a lot of those. Okay, they beat Notre Dame in, I think, 2017. That was a huge win for Manny Diaz. Was it Manny or was it Mark Richt? Actually. That was Mark Richt. But anyway, I think should they win, they would head into Middle Tennessee for a game that seems like they should win at home, and they'd be 3-0. They'd have the weekend off after that. Then they'd go right into 8 consecutive ACC games. And really, there are some stumbling blocks possible. You know, Pittsburgh. FSU always is the great game on November 5th, and UM goes to Clemson on the road in the next to last game, which is always, obviously that's going to be very tough. But I think they'd have a really good shot of winning the Coastal and doing very well if they could get the confidence up and win this game. I'm not convinced they're going to win this game. I don't know.
See, so let's close it, and we'll close it up from our perspective. What do you think this game means for A&M, win or lose?
Well, with so many big games ahead of Arkansas, Alabama, go to South Carolina, Mississippi State, they almost have to win this game. If they lose this game, I don't know how they beat Arkansas. So I think this is a big game for both teams. And as she mentioned, the atmosphere is going to be great. The crowd, unfortunately, A&M didn't win, or else it'd be a game day. So you think about the winner of this game is going to feel real good about themselves.
For sure.
Bottom line.
For sure. Well, Susan, before we go, let everyone know where they can find your work and how they might be able to find you on Twitter, social media, if that's something that you do.
Sure. Thank you. My Twitter handle is at Miller Degnan. I don't know if you guys can spell all that, but anyway,
we'll have a little graphic. It's good.
Good at Miller Degnan, and again, MiamiHerald.com, and click on the sports and get however free ones you get, maybe 1, 2.
There you go. Well, Susan, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you're listening on the My Aggie Nation podcast, thanks for listening as well. We'll talk to you next week.